What's going on, guys? Motor Squid here. So today with a GSXR 1000, going to show you guys how to change the clean the chain. So got a few of the things that we need here. So we've got a pickup stand, some kerosene to degrease the chain. It's up to you what you use. People use degreaser and stuff, but I prefer kerosene. I haven't had any bad problems with it yet. People said it's the O-rings and X-rings and whatever, but I haven't had that experience yet. And as you can see, I've been cleaning all my bikes with it. So, but today we're dealing with this GSXR 1000. So we have some kerosene, microfiber cloths to clean the chain, and we have some road-based chain lube. So, first thing we want to do is have a pickup stand. So what we'll do is we'll put it on here, and bike is now on the pickup stand. So what we can do, two ways you can do this. You can make sure it's in neutral and you can spin the wheel freely. Some people try to do it with a bike on. I never recommend it because you will get your fingers stuck in the sprocket. This chain is not too bad. So what we need is the kerosene and a rag. The first two things you need. One other thing that you can use, chain cleaner. Up to you how you do it. I try and use both. So they're the first three things you'll need. Bring all your equipment. Make a nice little tidy work area. I'm going to sit on these so I don't hurt myself, because you're going to be here for a little bit. So what you want to do, don't let your microfibers touch the ground. They'll pick up anything and everything. So what we want to do is confirm that the bike is steady. I always leave the side stand down, because if it's going to fall, I'm going to pull it towards me, because it will most of the time land on the stand. So what we're going to do now is prep the bike. So I've just sat down and noticed my chain is dirty, made my frame dirty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that first. I use Plexus just because I like it, and it usually picks up everything, and it adds a little bit of protection to it. So you just rub it and it all comes off with a little bit of Plexus and a microfiber. And there we go, nice and clean. I try and keep the whole area I'm working clean. I'm not going to clean the swing arm because it's just going to get dirty again straight after. I'll clean that later. So what you want to do, grab your kerosene. I don't have a smaller one, so I'll use this one. You can use chain degreaser and stuff if you wish, but I prefer to do it this way. Stick the end in, tip it. You now have kerosene on the end, and you just start rubbing. And you'll see how much that comes off. A lot of people will say get the chain hot after doing this so it evaporates. The kerosene evaporates quite quickly, so I just use Kero. And you just keep going around on the back of the sprocket. Just keep rubbing, picking up all the gunk. See, that's pretty filthy, and that's a brand new microfiber. So keep going. Get some more. And you keep going until it comes back around. And then there's another thing you can do. I would always also recommend putting another rag or something here. I'm just going to use that microfiber I just used, because I don't have anything else at this current stage, because it's going to drip. So you keep going around. All right, we're now back at the start. So you're going to do, move your kerosene, and I recommend putting the lid back on it, because you can and you will knock it over. So hold the chain and get some, you get a grip on it and you slide it through your hands. So this is working the kerosene through the whole chain. And you just do it a few times. So we keep going, you keep going. Now you can see that it's still dirty, but it's not extremely dirty. So what you can do is you can keep going around and around and around. And my chain will need to be adjusted soon, but not yet. But there's no tight spots in it. That's what you're feeling for as well. So to my understanding, this is what I do. I keep it an inch, at least an inch of movement. Because when you're riding, it's gonna move. But if you have it too loose, it'll slap. So you just keep going around. And never roll towards the sprocket, because that's one way to lose your fingers. So roll away from the sprocket all the time. So I reckon that's enough. Yep, it's not terrible, but still a bit on there. So what we can also do is grab this and put it on there and spin. This is a chain cleaner. So once you've kerroed the chain, you can use this to assist as well. So I won't need to go any more than that. Pull him out, dump him there. So if you're going to use any aerosols, so you got Penrite Chain Lube Road. This is one of many that I use. It depends on what bike. Because I like this bike, I actually use Castrol more so than not. So I'll have to go find that Castrol one. But Penrite is good, just as good, but it comes down to preference. I usually use the Penrite, this one. I use this one, the Castrol one, and I've got more in it. So I usually use the Castrol one over Penrite. The Penrite one I use to get me out of a pinch. So what we do, there's two ways you can do it. You sit on the end here, or on the top, and you spray. Just keep rolling it. Just keep rolling, and you roll it for a few seconds. Because if you over lube it, it'll end up everywhere. So that's your first set of lube through. So what you do is you grab the part of the rag you haven't used, fold it, and then work it through with the rag. And you can hear that it's changed, the sound. So what we're doing is we're working the Castrol chain lube into the top that goes through the bottom. So that's what we're doing it this way for. So what you're doing is you're taking away that excess so you don't get as much slap, like chain oil slap or sludge, whatever you want to call it. Because, for example, these white rims, you can see they're quite filthy. So that's now oiled. I can feel that. Like that's all lubed, that side. This other side, not so much. So what we're going to do now is don't go crazy on it. Go for a little bit and spin it quick. That's enough. I don't think you'd need any more than that. Same deal. Pinch it between your two hands and roll. So what you're doing is you're working that oil into the O-rings, which will take out the kerosene, because the kerosene's already gone at this stage from rolling it through your hands before. So there you go. Now that is oiled. I can already feel it. And you should be able to move the links without them getting stiff. So just for good measure, you can go a little bit more. So, and that's that. Now go backwards. All right, I believe that's now lubed. There is so much there, it's not coming out black either. There's a little bit of blackness in there, but not a lot. That's now clean. So now what you want to do is, I have a window open in here, so I've got ventilation. What you want to do is start your vehicle. Put it in first. Side stand down. So that chain is now going. So you watch it for a minute so you can see how it's jumping. So that chain needs some tightening. So what we want to do is hit it with a little bit of this. And then just rev it, just a little bit. Turn the bike off, put it back in neutral. Make sure it's in neutral, and it is. So now you can see all the splattering. This is why we didn't clean it to begin with. So that little bit of splattering, it's gonna come back, but that's not too bad. So I use kerosene on all the metal parts of my bikes. All of them. Unless it's the tank, I use plexus. So a little bit of kerosene on your finger. Do it while it's fresh, otherwise it's going to be even harder to get off. Fold and just spin it around with your hand and wipe everything else up. White rims are the hardest to keep clean. I can guarantee the next time I take this for a ride, because I've just changed the lubrication, it's going to splatter all over that again. So just keep going. You will need a fresh one, so you can grab the one underneath if it's not too bad and use it. And you just keep going around until she's nice and shiny. So that is how I lube my chains. Up to you if you